What's going on, gang, and welcome back to Comic Breakdown. If you guys are new to the channel, do me a favor, hit that sub button and hit that notification bell. Make sure you're not missing any of the awesome content that we have coming out. Continuing on with our indie comics weekend, we are diving into one of my favorite real deep indie comics. From Pocket Watch Press, we have Area 51, The Helix Project, issue number 4, written and created by Trevor Fernandes Lenkiewicz. What Trevor has given us is a comic that just keeps on giving. Not only is the physical copies of this book just absolutely phenomenal, high gloss, real thick paper, the artwork, the artists he has working on this are absolutely phenomenal. I'm still trying to figure out why any of them are not working for Marvel or DC Comics or any of the big guys. You know what I mean? These guys definitely deserve that. And if you feel the same way I do, you're gonna want to check out their Kickstarter. Issue number 5 of Area 51 is currently ongoing in their Kickstarter. I'll leave the link down in the description so you can check that out. If you would like to get caught up on the previous issues, be sure to check out the link in the description that will get you completely caught up on everything Trevor has been bringing us. The story so far has been about Kent. By all appearances, Kent seemed to be a normal individual, a normal kid, believing that he lost his father at a very young age. What he has come to learn is that he is some kind of alien, or at least that's what it seems up to this point. His body having the ability to transform, to have superhuman strength. And the day he met Marissa, that's when everything changed. Slowly and methodically, she has been leading him down a path, trying to help him uncover not only who he is, but who his father is. In an effort to really help him manifest his true potential, she made him relive the events that happened to him as a child. But in doing this, he had transformed in the middle of the street, and the government was on top of them in a matter of a minute. So be sure to buy the comic, support the industry, and with that being said, let's dive into this breakdown. Alright gang, so as we dive into number 4 of this amazing series, we pick up with Kent in shackles. Being locked away, hunted after all of this time, they have finally caught up with him. But that is not necessarily where our story begins. As someone tries to use their retinal scan to get into this facility, it is unable to determine who this is. And so because of that, access is denied. Who this individual is Colonel Ed Winters. And we're gonna get into exactly why this retinal scan didn't work the first time he tried it. But as he comes into a room, we have Marissa, who is strapped down on a table. And the Colonel, he is really thanking her, letting her know that he probably would have taken a lot longer to be able to hunt down Kent. The truth of the matter, he was able to track her. She left such a huge trail in her wake. It was only a matter of time before the Colonel caught up to her, and in turn, caught up to Kent. The Colonel, he begins roughing her up, choking her, hitting her, just giving her one hell of a beating. And while she does try to taunt him, she tries to really get under his skin. She definitely succeeds in doing so, saying that Kent, his father, none of them deserved this kind of power. They never understood what this meant. Kent seeing him as nothing more than just more or less a sissy, saying that he is weak, he is spineless, that he has so much untapped potential, and he has no idea what to do with it. That's where the Colonel really plays his part. He has every intention of weaponizing Kent, using his blood, using his DNA to try and create super soldiers. As the Colonel continues to just beat her senseless, we are taken over to Kent. Now, he's not really understanding what is going on, but as he comes to consciousness, his head is just ringing as he is trying to figure out everything that is going on. We see that Marissa, she is able to get up, getting up on her feet after the Colonel leaves the room. It looks like she had every intention of taking this beating. That is what helps her slip away and get get to the location where Kent is being held captive. This was her plan all along. She told him that they were gonna get into this facility, and that is exactly what they did. Every bit of this was a setup, from the cop to bringing him to his old home, the boy in the street, all of this. She knew that the Colonel would come looking for them, that this trail, it was very obvious, and that was intentional, but also letting him know, the individual that you saw, that wasn't your father, that was somebody else, that was Colonel Winters. Someone pretending just to be your father, wearing the face of your dad. At this point, Kent doesn't really know what to think. He doesn't know who to believe or who he can trust. But for some reason, he still has a little bit of faith in her. Because for her, this is something much deeper. She is trying to help out the man that saved her life. She knows that Kent's father is being held captive here. This is where she hands him a little bit of DNA. DNA that belongs to Colonel Winters. She gives this to him so that he can replicate the Colonel's DNA and take on his appearance. Now this is when we are brought to Colonel Winters, standing in front of an observation window looking at Kent's father. They have had him here this whole time. They have been using him as a science experiment, poking, prodding, doing whatever they can. In the last issue, we saw Colonel was on the table himself, and that is because he underwent an operation to make himself like Kent and his father. That is why he is able to transform, letting Kent's dad know that you were just too weak. You raised a weak son. He doesn't understand what true power is, but Colonel Winters has every intention of showing him. And once he does, then he is going to go end the Cold War. Taking us to Marissa and Kent. Kent currently in disguise. They are making it look like she is being led through this facility. As they make their way through, one of the prisoners is screaming, hollering all kinds of craziness. While it doesn't really seem to make sense, he talks about how the Mind Marauders are coming. We don't really know what this is in reference to or what he is describing. This could just be absolute nonsense, or this could be telling of what is yet to come, foreshadowing the future. But picking up 15 minutes later, they find themselves in the security room, going through all of the video footage, all of the cameras, trying to find any sign of Kent's dad. Once he is able to see the feed, this is where he kind of breaks down. His disguise, it completely comes off of him. He transforms and he starts smashing, saying that he is done waiting. He is done using stealth. He is done trying to think of a plan. He is going to go there. He kicks down the door. He breaks in and he goes to rescue his father. As they make their way through this facility, from kicking down doors to punching doctors in the throat, they do run into a very small security force. A force that is no match for Kent while he is in his current state. And one by one, he starts breaking bones. He's making them bleed. He's shattering faces. And once he has cut his way through all of them, that is when he gets to his father. Seeing him lying on that table, he breaks open that window and he is freeing his father. In breaking that window, all the alarms start going off. As they try to get his father out of here, his father is saying something under his breath. Just one word, and it is Winters. Kent at this point, he doesn't really understand what his father is trying to say. That is when they are met with a huge explosion, knocking all of them down to the ground. We see Colonel Winters enter the room. With each step that he is taking, we see a transformation. When Kent goes in to try and just give it to him, Colonel Winters turns on him and knocks him for a freaking loop, punching him straight through a wall. As all of the smoke clears, we see Colonel Winters' full transformation, looking like an abomination version of Kent. This fight just got real. And that will be the end of this issue. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Like I said before, this has been one of my favorite lines coming out of all of this. If you notice on the front cover of every single one of the variants, it has a little quote from Comic Breakdown, and I cannot say how absolutely amazing that is. I never in a million years thought I would see Comic Breakdown and me being quoted on the front cover of a comic book. Like, that is freaking fantastic. Truly a just humbling and so grateful, appreciative situation. You know, Trevor, when you listen to this, and I know you're going to, thank you a million times over, because the truth is, I am just exposing you guys to a really super awesome comic with amazing artwork. Trevor and his team, they put in the real heavy lifting. They have done such an amazing job of bringing this comic to life. And the first couple issues, it keeps you guessing. It makes you wonder where this is going to go. But by issue number 4, you know exactly the direction that he wants to head with this story. As he slowly starts to bring this to a close over the next couple of issues, we are gonna see some true talent, some true ability bringing this ending to life. When it comes to Marvel and DC Comics, I usually worry if they are gonna be able to nail the landing. With Area 51, the Helix Project, I have no doubt in my mind that this comic is going to land phenomenally. Trevor and his team, they truly have been working with such great effort to bring this to life, and it shows in every single panel, in every single bubble of text. I'm gonna go out on a limb and I'm going to say that Trevor's name, Trevor Fernandes Lenkiewicz, you are gonna see this name in big time news articles. You are gonna see him across the comic world. So I highly recommend that you start investing in him and Pocket Watch Press right freaking now. You can start by going to his Kickstarter and supporting issue number 5. He's got a lot of amazing stuff, from foil variants for issue number 1 to posters, t-shirts, sweaters, pins, masks, a little bit of everything. If all of the added bonuses aren't enough, the variant covers alone are so god dang amazing that you're gonna want to frame them and put them up in your house. So go do it. Right now, go to Kickstarter, hit that link in my description, find out what you have been missing out on. Let me know your thoughts, let me know your theories. If you would like to support the channel, you can always do so by hitting the Super Thanks button. This button will let you donate directly to the channel, and every little bit helps us out. Now, if you can't do that, do me a favor, hit that sub button, hit that notification bell, make sure you like this video, and until the next breakdown.